every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.
Hello, everyone. Again, welcome to the Let Out. We got a great show for you today. For all of those who haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Go to YouTube and check out all our great content. And please remember to, there you go, what she said. Hit the subscribe button, like, comment if you enjoy the show. Okay, so without further ado, I want to go ahead and introduce my co-host, Sylvia, my co-host, Chris, my co-host, Alicia, and me, Will, aka Bob. All right, so the topic list today is it offensive to ask your potential mate or anyone that you are having sex with for a STD test? The other topic is it okay to ask for a DNA test for a child when you're in a long-term relationship or in a marriage? And then we'll get to the surprise topic if we have time. So without further ado, let's go ahead and I'll switch it and we'll go in reverse a little bit from what I said with the first topic and start with the DNA test. Is it really wrong for you to ask for a DNA test in a long-term relationship or a marriage or whatever that may be? And I'll start with Chris.
No, I'm gonna say honestly, no. Especially if you really feel like either there's some potential that you're not gonna be your child's father, or what have you. There's some trust or relationship issues. Because the fact of the matter is, if you go into a relationship or you have a child and you don't know where that's really on your mind and you're not quite sure, you're probably not gonna be the best parent to that child. You're gonna be kind of absent for real. So if you're kind of absent and you don't feel like you quite sure, go ahead and get all that doubt wiped out of your mind. Because once the doubt's out of your mind, when you'll never have those times where you looking at the kid and be like, "Damn,
is that
my baby?"
Yeah. So does that make trust issues though? Like when you do that, even though it's good to have that certainty, does that create a trust issue that's there's no return from that trust issue in saying something like that?
I'm not gonna say not necessarily 100%. I'm not gonna quite say that, because you could really say, ultimately this is about me and my peace of mind. It's not really about you and what you're doing. In the back of my head, it could be from past relationships or what have you. It could be from just anything. Like I'm not that big on trust. And I'll say this, especially y'all, because we've all known each other for a long time. You might have a situation like me. Y'all remember my son, boy, he looked just like his mom. He ain't look nothing like it. Took a year or two before he started looking exactly like me.
Right.
It took a minute before he started looking exactly like me. And then, he just got, and now he's in his phases where he looked like whoever. But, I would say it really just varies. It just varies on the situation.
Right.
But nah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong to find it.
Okay. Alicia?
I call bullshit, because he said that he have trust issues, but I trust you enough to go ahead and to hit it raw and to bust up in you to create a baby.
That's not trust, that's lust.
I mean, now
facts.
Well, it's got lust in it, so it's a mix of lust and trust. So if you trust your life with me, and that's what it is, because having sex unprotected can.
Do I trust you, or was it a lapse in judgment?
No, there's trust. For me to go ahead and to basically say, "Hey, I trust you with my life. I'm making a life-changing decision to go ahead and some bust up in there raw."
People don't usually have that. People ain't usually thinking clear enough like that in the moment.
I mean, it's not that I trust you with my life. When you're not thinking that clear though, when you're not thinking that clear though, you probably shouldn't be. You're not mature enough, obviously, to have sex. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Is that not a lack of maturity?
Drunk sex is the best. What are you saying?
Is that a lack of maturity though? Or is that?
It is a lack of maturity when you don't know that. It's a lack of maturity, but we're gonna kind of touch on that a little bit later, so I don't want to get too into that.
Okay.
But I mean, yes, there is a certain level of trust that you're gonna have when you're having a partner, a sexual partner, and you know that where there is no condom and there is no protection that's involved, there is a probability that you're gonna have a child. So I would think that if I know I'm going in there strapless, that I trust you, that you are either not out here having multiple partners, and that either we are exclusive or we have some level of understanding for me to not go ahead and to strap up and put a rubber on and make sure that we're both protected.
I got you.
So don't come to me with no bullshit talking about some, now I don't trust you. I have a problem with that. I have an issue with that. How long have we been intimate? Is this a one night stand type thing, or have we been talking for a
And
while, but now
people
there's
have
a
babies
baby
on
in
one
the
night stands.
equation?
Don't act like that don't
Now
happen.
you do. No, you
Right.
definitely do. So that's what I'm saying. Each scenario is different. I think with a one night stand, of course, again, that's most definitely a bad decision. Not a mature decision. And then to have a one night stand where there is obviously no protection that's involved can be deadly. But
Right.
besides that, I can understand why, because I don't really know you like that. So
Can it
yes,
be
you're gonna
deadly
have
though?
questions.
Can it be deadly? I mean, just like Obama gave young black kids hope, Magic Johnson gave us hope.
We ain't got Magic
Yeah.
Johnson money, so don't even go out there risking your life like that.
Okay.
But,
Sylvia,
Don't even sell to young people that type of stuff. No.
Sylvia.
Okay, back
but
to
you
the
know what?
original.
And this is a complete immature mind thought. But shit, once
Ooh,
you
don't put it out
got
there,
it for the
Angie.
people who get it, then you ain't worried about shit no more after that. Might already got it. If you already got it, you don't give a fuck.
No, I had a family member that got it, that had it, and he is no longer here. And I think towards the end of it, he definitely gave a fuck. He was miserable as shit. So
But that was like how much? But how long was that ago? Like maybe 20 years, 30 years ago?
Yeah.
No, actually, no.
You can take a Bill's
Because people
absence.
live-
and get
people
rid
But
of
go
it.
ahead. We gotta
can
flip
take-
back and stay on
you-
topic though. We're gonna
you can
flip back
take
and try to stay on topic.
You can take vitamins to get rid of that shit. Go ahead, Sylvia.
Yeah,
Get rid of
okay,
it?
Trump. Drink Clorox. Next. What's up, Sylvia? What you think?
I'm just waiting for you all to get finished so I can say my piece.
Go punch it in. Punch it in.
Okay, so back to the original question at hand. It wasn't about a one night stand. It was about a long-term relationship or a marriage. And for you to ask for a paternity test in a long-term relationship and a marriage, then you're opening a Pandora's box that you may not want to open. Because if you've been with this person for this long, and I can see asking for one if there have been issues in your marriage or your relationship in the past where there have been infidelity or whatever. I get that. Ask for it. It shouldn't be an issue because you have to understand that whoever it was that was cheated on, there's some, could be the male. If the female cheated, there could be some still in the back of my mind where you did this once, who's to say you couldn't do it again. So I'm asking for a paternity test. I get that. But if there was never an issue in your long-term relationship or your marriage and you asking for a paternity test, then you're opening up a Pandora's box that you probably don't want to open up. And because you have trust issues or your insecurities or whatever you have to deal with doesn't have anything to do with me. So just because you have those issues that you ask me does not necessarily mean that I shouldn't have a problem with it. So, I mean, if you ask and you want it, you're entitled to, but just know that if it's something that you have an issue with and not the person that you're asking, that there'll be issues behind it, and just be prepared to deal with the consequences behind it. But I mean, if you do it to give yourself a peace of mind, you're well within your right. All I'm saying is just be ready to deal with whatever comes behind it.
Question: what comes behind it? Like I'm just thinking, like what's the negative that comes behind it?
The end of a relationship potentially.
Why?
But
Yeah, like,
because now you've planted this thing where you've asked me. You've never had an issue with me, but you've had an issue with somebody. Listen, let me finish. But you've had issue with somebody in the past. So you bring that over onto me. You're bringing on what they did to you over onto me. So you're basically what you're saying is if they were capable of doing it, I'm capable of doing it too. So you're judging me based on what somebody else did to you. You don't want to be judged by what somebody else did to me. So it doesn't make it right for you to judge me based on what somebody else did to you. So that's a whole nother problem. That's an argument that you shouldn't even want to have. And so, okay, now since I feel like you accuse me of cheating shit, let me go on and make it do what it do. Like, I mean, just because your mind will be at ease with you having a paternity test and the test come back that the baby's yours doesn't necessarily mean that the person that you asked for it will be at ease.
Oh, I mean, but on the flip side, shit, you could just Kirk Frost that shit. Do it on your own. I ain't got to.
You got to do what?
I said I could just be Kirk Frost with it, do the DNA test on my own, and you would never know. Is that better? Keeping the secret?
But everything that you do in the dark will eventually come to the light.
I mean,
So
but
while you may get away with it for so many years, there's still an issue. It's still going to end up becoming to an issue, a problem. There's still going to be a problem, whether it's now or whether it's later. It's still going to be an issue, is all I'm saying. So it's almost like if there was not an issue to begin with, why create one?
because I want to know.
I mean, yeah, my man want to know. My man want to know.
I mean, that's just what it is. I just want to know.
Yeah.
I guess it just really depends on the basis of where that question in your mind is coming from. Like, where did this even come from? How did this
I
even come up
watch
in
Maury
your
a lot.
head?
I watch Maury a lot, and it really ain't nothing to do.
Woo, that speak for itself.
So here's the problem. The problem with that is unrealistic. So from a man standpoint, it has nothing to do with what happened in the past. It has everything.
That's not what Chris said.
Well, it has nothing to do with what happened in the past when it comes to a specific person's relationship. There's a certainty that you want to know, because when you're dealing with a child, regardless, because everybody's human, and especially with a person like me who believes what I believe about people in relationship before and after marriage. I trust you, but at the same time, I don't want to walk around being a fucking idiot as well. So I have to be realistic. So I have to be realistic. I won't say that on the show, but I have to be realistic, only because it's that part is very personal. But for me, I will say this: to avoid any future problems.
And maybe
Hold on, let me finish.
Because if you can't answer the question whether you did or not, your response has no merit to me.
Let me finish. Okay, well, let's go to the next question. The STD test, is it offensive to ask it?
Everybody switch gears.
Is the STD test, if you ask for an STD test from your potential lover or your mate, is that offensive?
You just answered my question, but we'll go ahead to the next one.
Hey, you just told me if I can't tell you the truth, if I got something that is truly personal, don't mean I have to let it out just to get my.
Hey, I said maybe it's something we need to discuss afterwards. But if you can't answer my question and you're disputing it on a public forum, like you can't.
I can have an opinion just like you did, because if you had an opinion based on something that's not your particular situation, then I can too. If Chris just did, I can too. If Alicia just did, I can too.
You could be saying one thing but did something different. But you can say one thing on this show and do something different.
That's what y'all
Alicia,
did.
I don't like when mommy and daddy are fighting.
No, that's what y'all just did. Let me ask you this.
You had your collar on your jacket. I'm telling you, everybody got upset about the collar on your jacket.
I could have sworn it was your damn ankle bracelet around your neck.
Alicia.
Yes.
Did your particular answer relate to your life? Did you respond? Thank you. Chris, you don't have to answer because I know the answer. Chris, did your particular situation relate?
When somebody chooses the situation like this.
No, it didn't.
So go ahead to the next question.
Mine gotta have truth behind it.
Move on to the next question.
I can't have an opinion. Mine gotta have truth behind it.
But you didn't ask me. I asked you.
What you talking about?
What you talking about?
And I gave you my answer saying that I'd rather not disclose
that.
That should have been it.
I asked you. If you asked me, I would tell you. My response will not be, I'm not going to give that information on this.
Because it's personal.
No.
If I ask you something that you clearly don't want a billion people that's watching the show to hear, then you have that right.
But it's supposed to be a let out.
Right.
It's supposed to be authentic and who we are.
But I also have my own business.
No.
I don't have to tell my business for the show.
No. Okay. Move on to the next subject.
You say you want to know my business.
Go on to the next subject. Go on to the next subject.
I did
like
that.
You
brought it
said.
back. I did that. You brought it back.
Come on, go on to the next subject.
Okay, well, you
Right.
answer it since you know the next question, because I really just said the top. STD. Is it okay? Is it offensive?
Hell no, it ain't. Cause shit, I want to know your status.
So
I would think you would want to know mine. Like, no, I don't. I wouldn't take offense to it personally. I wouldn't, cause I want to know. And if you want to know, I have no problem with telling you. Cause
but if it's a long-term relationship,
I don't give a damn. Cause if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. Now, will it open up another Pandora's box? Yeah, it probably will. Cause why the fuck would you ask me? But if you ask me, I'm gonna tell you. But then there also, I will say this: there could be issues that you have, that women have, that you could possibly think that it comes from possibly your mate or whatever. But it could be a allergic reaction to something with you, so you ask. Or
Be like, hey, is your pee burning too?
But seriously, it can happen from women having different bodily reactions to stuff. So if I come and ask you, do yours burn too? What the fuck you be asking me? Because this is what's going on with me.
But he just said two, so you got your answer. You can just walk off if you ain't got it. Two. Okay. Alicia.
No, it's not offensive. I mean, I guess it depends on where you're in a relationship. Like initially we talked about prospective mate, meaning that we have not had sex yet. This is something that we're going to be entering into. So I think that it's all about your approach and how you talk about it in the conversation. And it's not just asking for you to get it, but hey, I think it's important for us to go get tested to see our status so that we feel comfortable. Because 9 times out of 10, when people have sex, initially they may strap up and they have condoms, protection as part of it. But as you get deeper into the relationship, unfortunately, that goes away because now that level of trust or just lust is there. And so you stop doing it. So yeah, I think it's important, like, to go ahead and to ask that. I think that it's negligence on your part not to go ahead and to disclose your status and get the status of your partner too. Like, you don't never know.
Right.
You can't look at somebody, unfortunately, and tell what they have.
Sometimes
I heard somebody say that before, like, oh yeah.
Sometimes you can. You can
No.
look and be like, hey, she got
What's
something.
that?
No.
like you done seen somebody, you be like, yeah, she got something. Like you can't tell me that it's just like something. No, I get it. Sometimes you can't, but I'm saying some people. Be honest with you, is one of those things where it's kind of like going into a bad neighborhood, right?
You know,
like,
shit bad.
You can ride by. You be like, you know what? It kind of look like a bad neighborhood. Even
This
though
probably ain't safe over here.
Even though it ain't, it look like it. That's kind of how you gotta treat some people. Cause some people got their look like
this
like
don't look safe.
Right.
It don't look.
Nah, but you got
safe.
some fine stacked up women out there that's got all kind of STDs potentially walking around with AIDS, and men the same thing. So you don't want to go ahead and put your life in somebody's hands that you really don't know and just open yourself up like that. Literally, figuratively, all of that.
I won't put something else in their hands. But no, I just but no, I guess Chris.
I'm gonna say from a dude perspective, I'm gonna say no, it ain't necessarily a bad thing, and I don't care if somebody ask me would ask me, because you say, hey, gotta hit it raw, gotta hit it raw. We be like, once I find out, then shit, I'll bet so off.
But see, that's the thing for me, like, it don't really even matter, because if, like, just say if I wasn't in my situation, I was out there dating or whatever. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna steal, and I'm not gonna probably hit it raw. Because I ain't trying to have kids.
I don't.
So
it just depends. So if you've had a vasectomy, you like, look, I done had a vasectomy. I know I ain't got shit. Then shit.
You gonna move some furniture?
Don't mean you ain't got shit. That mean you can't have kids.
I mean, but after you find out,
if I'd had a vasectomy and an STD, we about to move some furniture in this motherfucker.
Man, I
swear, like, I'm trying to tell you, hey, but nah, it's. You know what? I don't know. It's right.
No
What?
So nasty.
Let it flow.
Beautiful.
But no, I don't know if I think that it's a time where it's lost. Like it's a lost art. People don't ask because you know why. A lot of times people don't ask is because sex doesn't happen on a plan. A lot of times when you're fresh in a relationship, it happens on spur of the moment. So in that spur of the moment, it's like, hey man, it's 12:15 in the morning. There's no clinic open. Let me get this. So it's rare.
But usually you have almost attempted or come close to, you've kind of worked your way up to it. So it's not saying that, hey, right before the moment hits that, yeah, you're gonna be like, you know what? I forgot we ain't gonna get our test yet. But no,
That's
when
what I'm
you start
saying.
feeling like
I got a
I'm more
question. I
comfortable.
got a question for the panel. My question for the panel is that even a realistic question? Has anybody asked their partner before the first time? Is that even
No.
realistic?
Nobody has. Niggas trying to
Yeah.
smash. That's my whole point. Like it's not
Yeah, like I don't think that's
realistic.
realistic.
Nobody
I
has.
mean, I
She's
think
sitting over there with
that
that smile.
Cause yeah, I know.
Like-
Nah, we ain't do
Like
that.
I gave all of this what's supposed to happen bullshit. But
And I
just
know that
smashed. ASAP.
I mean, but
Like,
that's coming from learning though. Now that is something that I do stress with my kids. My
You didn't do it, and they ass ain't gonna do it either.
But you know what? One of the biggest things
we don't know
but one of the things about it though is I also had parents who did not talk
Take
to
them
me
cookies.
openly about sex though. So that's different. I would hope that with the new generation, parents are being more open
Nah, man,
and having different discussions with their kids.
That part.
That's gonna continue to be
Again,
open and ain't no
if AIDS
STD.
was a big thing, and it's even worse now when we was growing up to now, think about it. Those people had kids. There are kids in this world right now that have not even had sex with nobody, and they have AIDS or full-blown HIV. It is important for us to stress to our kids, though, that they make sure that they're being safe.
I'm okay, but let's just think of this.
And being smart.
Think about this. What age do people tend to, just on average, you start having sex? Anywhere from like 14 to 17?
If you had Booster House, 12. But go ahead, keep going.
So you're right.
Facts. So you 12 years old. You 12 years old. You don't even know where to go, who to get in contact with, or really who to ask to get it done.
And you trying to
it's already happened.
But you're trying to hide
But
it.
that's why I said again, though, have conversations, open dialogue where your kids are comfortable with talking to you. My ex had that kind of relationship with my boys. Unfortunately, they didn't want to come to me. But he had that type of relationship with them. So before it even got to that point, well, for my oldest son anyway, that conversation, that understanding between them was understood. So again, if you have the right type of relationship and it's open conversations and it's not going to be going ahead and being a drill sergeant, your kids will talk to you.
But okay, they might talk to you, but Mom, I'm going to be honest. He's 14 years old. He finna get his first piece of pussy. He's not finna ask her if she got an STD test yet.
He's not.
He's not. He's not asking her that.
That's why you want to. At that point, you want to stress the importance of condoms.
That's when he's just gonna let shit look clean to me.
That's all you can do.
Look clean to me.
Hey man, that's all you can do because timing just don't permit sometimes. Like again, sex is not a thing that, especially.
But I mean, just even thinking about because you know when we were at the age, AIDS was already out. It had been out, and that's just not one of the things that we were thinking about when the time came, honestly. You know what I mean? So when it got around to me talking to my kids, I didn't use the ask them about what their status is, have they been checked? No, these are what is out here that you can get. You need to strap up, you need to wear a condom. It wasn't a don't do it because you're gonna do it anyway. These are the precautions that you need to take so you won't get this, and this. Was my conversation. Because I only think that after you've been sexually active and by the grace of God, you ain't caught nothing. And like Alicia said, I know better now. Now, as we're older, we may go into pressure status. But
yeah, because we done had it. We done had it before. We done had sex before.
Right.
When you coming up,
that don't happen the first couple times.
You better specify how we done had it in.
Like you said, when they're younger, no, that is not.
No, ain't nobody trying that. Nobody trying to hear that. No, at all. Okay, so we got about maybe 7 minutes. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and
share.
And share. There you go, with your friends, and let them know about the content. All right. So got a couple topics, but I'm gonna start with why do I want to say black people in general, but we can go with people if we need to. Why do people patronize, or black people patronize merchants if they don't respect us? We hear a lot of flack about, supporting Gucci, supporting.
Your surprise topic's been real deep lately. Go ahead though.
I think that shit is just. I mean, it's a.
I know, but those hey, that's what I want. I want to know why. I want to know why they why we continue to patronize these people and they don't respect who we are.
We tend to only do it when it's a stunt or some sort, or it's some status attached to it. Because guess what? It's a status if I shop at Gucci. It's a status if I shop at Louis or somebody else. You just feel like it's a status to it. But whenever are you patronizing somebody that really there's no benefit into it, or there's no status or something? I ain't never seen it.
We do it all the time.
So somebody that with no status? I mean, if it's what? Give me an example.
It can be going into the beauty supply store. Yeah, it can be going into a nail shop where they treating you any kind of way, talking to you any kind of way,
putting people in front of you that aren't like you. I think this young lady.
Well, to that effect, I would say it is because it didn't directly affect me, so I'm not affected by it, so I'm not going to stop doing this because it hasn't happened to me or somebody closer to me.
Right.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, I think that is more of a selfish thing. Like you said, when it's at home, it hit different. And I don't know why we continue to do that. I mean, I know some of the reasons. I know one of the reasons why I may go somewhere is because of convenience. Like, say, for instance, there's right. If it's a certain, like, if it's a nail shop 1 mile away from you, but they seem to not really care about or respect our kind, and you go down longer just to go somewhere else. A lot of times, for time's sake, or like they might have a person that you prefer, a barber, anybody that you prefer, you're gonna take that. Same thing with Gucci, Gucci and all of that.
Well, let me say this, because I actually in one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook, we actually had this discussion about the nail shop and the beauty supply stores.
Okay.
And it came across, the person that posed the question was the guy, came across because he had come across a video where there was some mistreatment by the Asians to a black person. Yeah. And the thing that we were saying on there is, it's almost like you want us to group all of them, all of the nail shops and all the beauty supply stores, with this one incident that happened on the video. And the thing we were trying to get him to understand was the reason why we keep continuing to go into the Asians, because the Asians that we've been going to probably for years, we've built this rapport with, and they've never mistreated us. We've never seen them treat anybody bad. So why do we have to group all the Asians? It's almost like saying you had one bad experience with one black store owner.
Your personal relationships override all that shit.
So, but that goes back to, you've had one bad experience with one black store owner, boutique owner, or whatever. So let's group all the blacks in there that's not shopped with no blacks. So it kind of, why would you want us to group all Asians into one because of this one video, when all Asians haven't been like that? Or with the beauty supply store, the ones I've gone to, they've never done that. They don't follow us around, or don't treat us like we are, thieves or criminals or whatever. So why should I have to stop going to them because another group of Asians in another store in another state treated a black person the same way?
And I think too, part of it also is though we allow so many other cultures to make money off of us. The hair, cosmetic, nails, all of that's like $1 billion industry. Mm-hmm. And I think that we're not tapping in sometimes enough in supporting black nail tech, black-owned beauty supply stores, which there's not a lot, but there are some, because we'll say the black nail techs, they charge too much. I'd rather go pay $20 as opposed to
what I was saying earlier.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard it a lot. There's black nail techs in our hometown.
1 minute.
But a lot of people don't necessarily go to them, and there's one here as well.
There's
But
1
a lot
minute
of
as
times
well.
we patrons and continue to patron because we are comfortable,
Right.
and also because, but also we do need to make sure that we're supporting Black-owned
agree.
stores and letting the money circulate in our
agree.
community.
Facts.
Did they get that? They got to look. They got to play that back and go in slow motion. Oh,
You are so low down.
But no. So that's all the time. Actually, it's not all the time. We got 1 minute and 36 seconds. Yeah, I agree. You know, I'm with Sylvia in the sense that, yeah, you can't group everybody in one thing because of one incident. The only thing I would say is there's been a history in some cases of several instances across several time periods where that has happened. So I think that's where that comes from. It's like, okay, well, y'all gonna keep doing this like to us, and we come in your stores, is hurry up and buy it and come out of nowhere, right? And again, also to their defense, it may be warranted. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like the treatment, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and unfortunately, sometimes we don't have.
You would say that when there's not a lot of time left. Go
I
off.
mean, but
no, sometimes, you know,
if I'm in a Black community, if I'm in a Black community, typically the people stealing out of my store are probably gonna be Black.
That's a fact.
People of the community.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, you can't really just get away from what the facts are. But like, comment, subscribe, and
Follow us on
Vote.
Instagram at _ the let out _
yeah, what she said.
And until
And,
next time.
Next time, the surprise topic will be just as serious. We will talk to you later, everyone. Have a good one.
Bye, Ring Taylor.
Peace out.
Every time I pull up at the let out, it's a spectacle.